Hello everyone and welcome to the Dragon Code. In this video we are going to look at multidimensional arrays. So let's start. In previous video we looked at one-dimensional array, but you can also have multidimensional arrays with 2, 3, 4 dimensions and so on. Let's declare one two-dimensional array. It will have integer data type. I will give it name and it will have two dimensions, 2 and 3. And then I will initialize it. Let's explain this. Multidimensional arrays are actually arrays which elements are arrays. So in this case we have array which has two arrays inside it. We can also look at this as parent array which has child arrays. This first value in square brackets means how many child arrays will it have, and this second value in square brackets means how many elements will each child array have. So there will be two child arrays and each child array will have 3 elements. Let's also declare one three-dimensional array. It will have integer data type and it will have 3 dimensions, and all those 3 dimensions will have size of 2. So it means that there will be grandparent array which will have 2 parent arrays, and those 2 parent arrays will have 2 child arrays. Let's initialize this three-dimensional array. So there is a grandparent array which has 2 parent arrays, and inside these parent arrays there are 2 child arrays. So this is one three-dimensional array. How to access elements from two-dimensional array? Because it is two-dimensional array, it has 2 dimensions. So we need to look at both dimensions. So to access each element, we first need to put index of row and then index of column. If I want to access, for example, this element, I need to look at its row index, it is 1, and its column index, it is also 1. So it will be 1 and also 1. As you saw, two-dimensional array is basically 2D matrix. Let's access some element of this two-dimensional array, for example, this element. So I first need to write array name, and now it is in the second child, so it is index of 1 because indexes start from 0, and it is first element in second array, so it is 0. Let's print this. As you can see, this is that element which has value of 4. If I want to print last element, I need to go in the second array, last array, and I need to go in the last element of that second array, which has index of 2. Let's also run this code. As you can see, this is 6. Let's change value of that element and let's run this code. So this last element now has value of 147. How to print all elements of two-dimensional array? We will do that with nested for loops. If you didn't watch video about nested loops, link is down below in the description. So there will be one for loop, parent for loop, which will iterate 2 times, and then will be child for loop, which will iterate 3 times. And then it will print. I just need to change this variable name to be different. And with this nested for loop, we will access each element of two-dimensional array. Let's print this. As you can see, here are elements of two-dimensional array. This is 147 is printed next when value is changed, but those 6 values are 6 elements of this two-dimensional array. I will remove this and I will change number of rows to 3. So I need to add another child array. And now when I print the elements of that array, I will add new line after each row. And I also need to change a value here because there are now 3 rows. And let's run this code. And those are elements of this two-dimensional array. And this looks prettier when we print each row inside new line. To allow user to add values to the array elements, we also need nested for loop. Just in this case, it will be cin object. And let's run this code. So I first need to input 9 values, which are 9 elements of array, and those elements are printed. In this case, I wasn't initializing array with this nested for loop because it is already initialized during declaration. I was just changing values of elements of array. Let's now write function which will have two-dimensional array as parameter. So this function will print two-dimensional array and when you pass two-dimensional array as parameter, you don't need to specify number of rows, but you have to specify number of columns. And again with for loop, we will print this array. So I won't use this now. I will just use this function, print to the array, and let's run this code. As you can see, array is also printed. And let's also write another function that will add all elements on the main diagonal. So what it means, so we will add all elements on the main diagonal, so it is 1, 5, and 9. Let's write that function. I will print this function because it has a lot of content that I will need here. It will have integer return type. I won't print anything here. Instead, I need variable that I will return, and I will return that variable. And now, when element is on main diagonal, it means that I and j are equal, that index of row and index of column are equal. So if I is equal to j, add that element to some variable. And let's print sum of main diagonal to the array, and let's run this code. As you can see, sum of main diagonal is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6 plus 9 is 15. This is all for this video. If you like this video and want more videos like this, press like button and subscribe, and see you next time.